It's time for game two. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Evil Geniuses versus the Alliance. A best of three, with the Alliance currently leading 1-0, is coming your way, and it's starting right now. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit, delighted to be bringing you the WePlay.tv Dota 2 League's final day of playoffs, our grand finals. Spectacular. Not really by choice, but by forced our hands to some extent between connection issues, as well as the Western qualifiers starting on Monday. We will be having a total of 4 series over the course of today. We're only in the first series, but EG, fingers crossed that they've sorted out all of their connection issues and should be good to go the rest of the day. LD, of course, as mentioned, I'm joined here by Gods, and Gods in game one, it was all the Alliance all the way.
Yeah, can they do it again here in game two? It'd probably help us out as well as the tournament stay on schedule after a small delay here, but EG are a team who won't go down without a fight, and I mean, with Fear in the captain's seat now, there's a lot this team is capable of. Alliance, on the other hand, they've been the dominant team for such a long time now in the Western scene, looking to get that 2-0 victory, advance to the grand finals. If you win this match, you've got like, for EG, they probably go back to sleep, take a 5-6 hour nap, because it's like 7 in the morning there.
Yeah, well, they actually can't take a nap because they have to go right into the Curse Invitational, I believe. So there's no rest for EG.
They're screwed.
They are not sleeping, and neither are you guys. Not if you want to catch the thrilling conclusion of this tournament. Around $10,000, a little bit less in cash prizes to be handed out by the time today is done, as well as around $10,000 in gear prizes. So it's a big day as far as the payouts go, but only one team can be in that grand finals as the champion. And right now the Alliance with the inside track to get there. As mentioned, leading the best of 3 1-0. So we go through the draft, Gods, and to your disgust, I am sure, Lifestealer has slipped through. They didn't really do a whole lot last game, but we'll see a Magnus first pick from EG. So there will be a Lifestealer available for the Alliance right now, and I imagine they'll be snapping it up.
Straight into the Demon Mag. I'm not surprised by EG going this way. I think this is sort of what they prefer to play. A lot of these Western teams don't really prioritize Lifesteal as that #1 top must-pick hero. Even Alliance, I don't know if they go Lifesteal, at least not with the first 2 picks. They'll often go sort of a different route, get something, get some of their other strong support heroes, whether it's maybe even the Nature. Oh, sorry, Nature's Prophet banned out. What am I talking about? It's been too little sleep, but I don't know if they'll go straight for the Lifesteal. It's not always really their style.
We'll see. There's always something like the Darkseer for Bulldog. They will go for the Lifesteal, at least this game. So it's definitely an option for them. They'll choose to exercise it here. And if they want to go aggressive trialing, they definitely have that at their fingertips. With Lifestealer, Keeper of the Light, +1, you got something like a Lina, a Leshrac, and you have the makings of a devastating aggressive trialing. So let's see if they look to do it. The option is there. For EG, they've picked up that solo mid. Almost certainly something Demon will take to the mid lane. It could be a Bambo off lane. I think I've seen him play it once, but Magnus just does not do well there, so I really don't think we'll see it. Which means, what do they go for here? The Fear Rubik, a likely possibility. Something I maybe thought Alliance would take to, not so much to counter the Mag, but to give you a way to deal with his team later on, if you can steal RP. But we'll see. If EG want to go for the Fear Rubik, they've really been like Navi and Kuroki, where if they can get Fear his Rubik, they usually do.
Yeah, there's Nyx Assassin's on the pool, but I don't think they want to go for Nyx Assassin. Not particularly. It's good against Keeper of the Light, but Carapace doesn't do anything against Lifesteal. It's also a weak laning hero, which is something that Keeper of the Light Lifesteal will punish. So they grab Clockwork, a great defensive laning hero, decent against Lifestealer in the lane stage, can sort of shrug off a lot of the damage coming his way. So I like this little pick here. They probably want to go for, like you mentioned, the Rubik for Fear or some other sort of just hard support here. I feel they don't want to really give away what carry they're picking just yet.
So the amount of control that EG has is pretty sensational. Between the Clockwork Cog, Skewer, as well as RP, and then of course Hookshot, Battery Assault, you can chase to the ends of the earth, and they also have quite a few ways to deal with that Lifestealer in team fights. So this is a game for me where I would love to see the Alliance get a secondary source of damage, but what will it be? Normally it's Bulldog who provides it, and his Lone Druid as well as his Prophet are banned. Your thoughts?
Every now and then he handles a Bounty Hunter, but yeah, his 2 big heroes are banned out. I don't think I've ever seen him play the Lifestealer.
Yeah, he always either jungles or takes a solo lane. I really don't see him.
Darkseer's still in the pool. Darkseer is a hero who does play.
If they go for that, maybe they pick up something like the S4 Puck, or even Aquata Pain potentially. I feel that might be a little bit more suitable since I feel like they really do need that range DPS.
Even TA here. I don't know about TA with a 3rd pick. I think TA is more like a 4th or 5th pick, but if it's not picked up, I imagine EG probably ban it out.
Well, it depends what if they go for, say, another support here, then you'll have Bulldog. Well, you've gotten your 2 big Bulldog heroes out of the pool, but maybe EG spend a ban on something like a Darkseer. They will go for that second support, so basically now EG has to decide, do we ban more Bulldog heroes or do we go all out with the S4 heroes? Now, with all that being said, it's not out of the question Shadow Demon could go mid. It's something we saw yesterday, worked fantastically for Vici Gaming, or no, actually it was a few days ago, but I wouldn't put past the Alliance to do something a little bit unorthodox like that, but most likely this will be that support hero for EGM.
Yeah, I don't think Alliance. It's not something I wouldn't put past them, but it's the stand. I've never seen them run us. That was the first time I've seen the farming Shadow Demon in mid in about 2 years.
2 years
or so.
At least, yeah, that's very true.
It used to be the trend. It used to be all the raid when Shadow Demon first came out. That was how he was picked and played. But it's a new era. Let's see if CTY can bring back the old Shadow Demon. But for now, we're going to see S4 heroes banned out. Storm Spirit to start things off. We'll have to see. I don't know if TA is the biggest threat in the world here. I think more likely we see the heroes like Queen of Pain and Puck banned out, because Alliance can always pick up some additional DPS coming from someone like this, whatever they want to pick Bulldog.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Bulldog gets his hands on at this point. I'm really curious to see where they go for his hero, and for the moment, EG, what do they need? They've got Fears Rubik, they have the Clockwork for Sexy Bamboo. We need to see B-Diz's hero and then JO's, and I think my big question is, what is JO going to play this game? I'm not really sure what's left in the pool. If they want to group up more, something... I haven't seen him play it much lately, but something like a Dragon Knight could be pretty decent. Does reasonably well against Lifestealer with the high armor, and later on the Frost Dragon slow, but what do you think?
I think Luna's probably the most go-to type EG hero here.
Another good 5-man carry as well.
It does give him a really good group up. It handles Lifestealer decently, just because of having some nice early game damage, and you have pretty decent movement speed. You can go for a Drum of Endurance if you really want to be able to have the movement speed to get away from Lifestealer. Alliance actually going to ban out the Chen there, so something B-Diz plays every now and then, as they don't want to give EG that jungling option. But yeah, I guess EG probably looking for something like a Luna, maybe even going for something a bit more late game oriented. But I don't think you can go super late game up against this offensive tri lane.
If they go Luna, I'm not sure how she's going to match up, like you said, against this offensive tri-lane. Lifestealer, Shadow Demon, Keeper of the Light. If Luna gets caught, there's not really a whole lot Rubik can do, because Keeper of the Light will be illuminating from very far away, so you can't count on Telekinesis lifting him. Shadow Demon's probably going to be able to get off his Disruption, his Soul Catcher, and Lifestealer will be Rage. So Telekinesis is not a reliable way to disengage against that particular tri-lane. And Luna, despite her high base move speed, that's enough slow with Open Wounds to bring her down. So if they want to go Luna, it's a bit risky, I feel, and positioning will be absolutely essential.
Yeah. No, definitely agree. And I guess what are your sort of others more sort of laning oriented carry heroes left that you could play? And there's not really a whole lot to offer. I think they have to get a really strong support for B-Diz. The Chen's taken out, so you're looking at most likely something like a Leshrac. Oh, I like the Weaver Band. That's actually the carry which can go tri-lane versus tri-lane. It matches up really well against Lifestealer. And you can play it in a safe lane tri-lane and probably beat that Lifestealer tri-lane. So it's a smart band from Alliance.
And they have 0 stuns. 0 actual... Monolith is a pseudo-stun, basically. Not something you can really count on. Not something you'll have early game. So they ban out, like you said, I think the Weaver, a fantastic ban, and now the question is, who's that carry going to be? Alliance may be looking for another. There is a Gyrocopter. It could be alright. It's a decent hero against Lifestealer at the early levels, simply because Rage doesn't last forever until it's maxed. But then it's 6 seconds, then it lasts forever and a day. But even then, I feel like it's a hero. If he gets caught out, he's also going to be in a lot of trouble.
Gyrocopter actually banned.
Yep. Like I said, guys, it's been a long night. We haven't slept much, so cut me some slack.
I would have corrected you right away, but I'm like, Gyrocopter. That's the Gyrocopter? Yeah, that's the Gyrocopter. Let's correct LD now. It took me like a good 5-second thought process.
You like watched me dig my own grave. I started to lay myself down in it, and then you like threw a little dirt on top, and you know, see how long it takes LD to realize he's not actually dying. Leshrac will be the choice, so Beat is going to be handling that. And then the question is, where does the Alliance go from here?
Yeah, Alliance themselves, something you could always look at is, I mean, if they go the offensive trial, that means Bulldog's playing a safe lane solo, which, well, you can go pretty much anything as far as safe lane solos. I guess he doesn't really play heroes like Queen of Pain all that much, but Queen of Pain does pretty well against a hero like Clockwork. Queen of Pain, of course, good in the mid lane as well against a Magnus, and I imagine something which Alliance are quite strongly considering.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I've seen. I know Bulldog's played a fair amount of Alchemist on his stream. It would do okay against Clockwork in the lane, I feel, because Acid Spray is very... Clockwork is low base armor and tanking that under the tower. I mean, it's not something would ever expect him to play based on his competitive history. I've seen him stream it quite a bunch, so just throwing kind of random ideas out there, basically. But it's one of the few drafts for the Alliance where I'm not really sure where they go from here, and I feel like they may have something very unconventional up their sleeves.
I feel like a Luna actually works well. Something they used to do quite a bit was run the solo mid Luna. Had S4 play a solo mid Luna, then you get your secondary source of damage. So it's not too bad. I think it's a slightly safer option even than going for a TA. Right now, there's a lot of annoying heroes for TA to go up against, a lot of lockdown, long-range initiation that TA can just get burst down. I feel Luna is sort of a more sit back, just need to get your ultimate off in a fight and you can do a whole lot of damage. So something Alliance could consider. Otherwise, we look at them saying, hey, we've got a one-game advantage. This is the best of 3. Let's pick something a bit more experimental. And
it's a Beastmaster, and I imagine that will be the Bulldog hero. Don't think it'll be a solo mid-beast. So do we maybe look towards something like a Shadow Fiend as that final pick for the Alliance? Because I still feel like they need that secondary source of damage when you're up against Cogs and RP.
I'm not sure. S4 Shadow Fiend, I don't know if I've seen it in the mid lane too much, but
I guess Loda normally plays it for the Alliance.
Yeah, they've done it safe lane a couple of times, but if we look at a more standard S4 here in the mid, something which can do some damage, you're probably looking at Queen of Pain, TA...
Or Puck.
Yeah, Puck.
Oh,
Puck
actually banned. Puck banned.
So Queen of Pain or TA to go up against the Magnus. Beastmaster could always go mid, but then you're sort of putting... Beastmaster to me looks like the obvious Bulldog hero, and I don't think you want to get something like a Darkseer for the side lane and go Beastmaster mid, because then you just don't have enough damage in team fights.
Yeah, let's see what they go for here. Right now, they have a very strong offensive tri-lane for EG. Not sure if they'll be able to deal with it, to be honest. They have a good and offensive combo between the Rubik, Leshrac, and Luna, but at the same time, they're not very good at disengaging. If they get caught in an alliance, we'll go Kodal PL. I wouldn't quite say a blast from the past, but something, gods, that has kind of fallen off lately, and the Alliance has shown they know how to deal with it when teams pick it against them. They have one of the best win rates against this combo, I'm pretty sure. Well, hell, they have one of the best win rates in general, but they've dealt with this combo, now they're going to try to show us how to use it.
Yeah, they pick it nice and late in the draft. They know it's going to be difficult for EG. EG can go offensive trialing, but Luna in the offensive trialing doesn't really offer a whole lot of the early levels apart from that aura, and you're up against Shadow Demon Keeper of the Light, so it's pretty much a suicide mission. It looks like we see solo mid Lifestealer up against the Mag for S4, which is perfectly fine. Can do decently there. Alternatively, you send Beastmaster mid and Lifestealer can 1v1 the Clockwork. So, I guess you don't want to go offensive trialing with a PL. That's kind of a big no-no.
Even with Keeper of the Light, it's very risky. If they lose one fight, they are very, very screwed.
So Beastmaster goes straight to the offlane most likely, or just looks to stack Ancients, do his thing.
Yeah, even try for some mid pulls and clear out the trees. So there's going to be some options there. On the side of the Alliance, we have a team that has really been dynamic and at the top of their performance as of late. S4 going to be leading his squad towards the bottom lane, handling the Beastmaster. Bulldog actually going to be handling the Lifestealer. Quelling Blade, Stout Shield picked up, maybe heading straight into the jungle. EGM on the Shadow Demon, or expecting just a very easy lane at that on the Shadow Demon. We'll have Ake playing the Keeper of the Light. Loda on the Phantom Lancer, headed towards the top lane. So it looks like Bulldog is an off-lane Lifestealer, and maybe just expecting a defensive tri-lane and thinking he'll just go jungle if it is indeed the case. Yeah,
the two supports for Alliance starting heading towards bottom. They maybe look for an early kill somewhere, but I'm pretty certain they'll head back top soon. They're going to be up against the Evil Geniuses trial, and we have got the American boys, Bambo, not so American himself, playing the Clockwork, Fear on the Rubik. We've got Beaters playing the Leshrac, Solar Mid is going to be Demon handling the Magnus, and then finally at bottom, Jo on the Luna.
Been pulled quite a bit of regen here. Sitting on set of, or not pulled a lot, but he's been
the PL.
He's been pulled on one set of tangos, but he's purchased a whole lot. So yeah, safe lane for the PL in the end. Loda clearing out a few trees here with a Quelling Blade of his own. He's been pulled a bit as well, and they're going to give Jo the safe lane farm solo, so he'll be up against Bulldog's Lifestealer, and frankly, it's a matchup where the Luna should do pretty well. Yeah,
this is actually where it'd almost be better for Alliance to pull Lifestealer some regen so he can hold his own in the lane, be a bit more aggressive, trade hits here and there, but the regen's all sitting top lane with Loda's PL. He's going to need it as well, but the 1v1 matchup is almost more important because the tri-lane versus tri-lane, how much regen you have isn't going to decide it as much as a 1v1 lane.
Right, because, Loda lurking on the high ground. Bambo going to lead the charge here with an Invisor and Fear. A few steps behind. Ake is charging Illuminate, but Bambo's going to block him and cog him. And is this going to be enough? There's not too much follow-up damage. Here it comes from the Split Earth. No, Beat is unable to find that waiting. Baits out the Disruption, then lands the Split Earth. Beautiful little pump fake from Beat is, and in the end, EGM will punish him with the counter kill of his own. Cogs are cooling down. Cogs are here again. A horrible little prison created by Bambo. EGM about to drop as well. Call it a 2-for-1. First blood to EG, a secondary kill as well. And Loda just unable to do anything in this engagement. Little surprised Alliance actually took that fight.
Yeah, I guess they didn't see the invis room being picked up. Loda waited a long time to level up Lance. He wasn't sure if they were going to fight that, and it was actually a bit of miscommunication. Loda was hitting the left track while the Shadow Demon was hitting the Rubik, so they didn't really coordinate that all too well. They did get the 1 kill, but give up 2 for it, and now this tri lane of theirs has got off to a pretty bad start. Yeah,
fast start for EG, and they need it because they're currently trailing in this best of 3, 1-0-1 at that. Ake is going to be doing a little bit of dewarding as well as a pull. He'll get that first pull going, and for the Alliance, giving up those 2 kills on a first Blood Gods, this is where you just avoid fights wherever possible, have disruption ready in case they try to dive Loda, and just farm the neutrals. Basically, you play a war of attrition in this lane. You don't try to take too many fights head on.
Especially with Loda's items. He's got the Quelling Blade, the Ring of Protection, tons of regen. It means they can just do single pulls, and Loda shouldn't have too much problem tanking a bit under the tower and also getting last hits because of these items.
Over towards the other 2 solo lanes, S4 going to be handling that Beastmaster up against Demon, and Demon on the mag, off to a pretty decent start at 6-1. S4 slightly ahead of that, and I'd say a fairly even match of all things considered. Will really come down to the individual play of these two more than anything else, and I don't imagine we'll see too many rotations top. EG as well as the Alliance going to have their hands full with the respective enemy tri-lanes, and over towards the bottom lane, it will be Jo playing that Luna, and he's farming quite well. 12-3, especially with the pulled regen, and also I feel just with a slight edge in terms of last hitting, having, of course, the huge damage coming from Lunar Blessing and the ranged attack. Albeit a short range, he's off to a great start, as you should expect.
Yeah, and I think the big advantage is what I mentioned earlier. He had more regen. Lifesteal had 1 set of tangos, whereas Jo has all this regen. He's hardly had used this. He just gets aggressive, harasses. No, if he takes damage, he's fine. Lifesteal brings a salve as well as tangos, which he had to buy himself. So this is going to slow down his fast phase boots, I imagine, and that's going to really hurt him in this lane.
S4 has managed to secure himself a haste rune, and potentially we could see him rotate towards the top lane if a dive happens. Not just yet, but towards that point where he hits level 6. For the time being, 14-4, so getting the better of Demon so far by a slight margin at least. EG looking to contest this pull. Sentry Ward still here. EG not actually manually blocking it. The haste rune pop by S4. And let's see what he's going to look to do with this. For the moment, just continues to farm and accrue experience. So as we look towards these 2 solo lanes, hitting, say, that 6-minute mark, who do you feel is going to be able to do more right now? EG with the Luna as well as the Magnus, or the Alliance with the Beastmaster and the Lifestealer?
I don't think we'll see too much from the solos until around the 6-minute mark, because S4 can't really go top because there's a ward that'll spot his every movement. Similar story for Demon. We'll maybe see him pick up a TP scroll around the time that he gets his Arcane Boots, because that's when he gets the mana pool to TP in, skewer RP and do some big damage, which will be around sort of the 8-9 minute mark. I think until then we don't see the 2 mid-heroes doing a whole lot, unless they get like a really clutch rune and there's a big dive happening. But even so, running top with a rune, teams will just see it coming and react.
Bulldog, a little bit of chip damage on Jo, trying to equalize the score. As you mentioned, he ferried himself a salve. He's continuing to have some troubles in this lane. He does have 300 gold. He is actually maxing Rage first, so is going for a more combat-oriented build. We'll see a Disruption, followed up by a Soul Catcher. But Bambo able to just hoof it on out of there. And really, for the Alliance, it should be that same story. They are not the ones who want to be forcing fights. They want to be slowly but surely trying to erode the regen of EG rather than taking any sort of direct confrontation.
Yeah. Demon, S4 finds the next rune. We'll get an illusion rune here. He's level 5.5 now. You do have to keep a bit of an eye out for that level 6, but mostly almost for the soul. I think if anything, we see the supports from Alliance look to rotate mid and get a kill on Demon with one, like maybe just the Keeper of the Light with an Illuminate on top of the Raw. Because it's going to be difficult for Beastmaster to rotate top without it being too obvious. I
mean, I think even more possible might be EGM teleporting there, as he has picked up an early TP scroll.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that early rotation, you hit level 6, you slow down Demon, because Demon's the hero who really needs to farm in this lane. Beatus is lurking, waiting potentially for a backstab. He'll hit a Split Earth on EGM, but it's just not the right distance for Fear to engage, and for the time being, they'll continue to chip away here. So after that first blood and the double kill for EG, leading still by 500 gold, but now behind in terms of experience, so all things considered, gotta say the Alliance is doing pretty well for themselves, and as we head towards the mid-game, they have a very annoying lineup to play against. EG are great at grouping up and pushing. The problem is, Alliance is fantastic at stopping pushes and split pushing.
Yeah, we're going to see, looks like Keeper Light going to hit level 3 in just a second, which will help out a lot. And Beastmaster's level 6, so if we want to have a TP coming mid, it's going to happen soon, probably around nighttime, so that there's less vision. That's going to be sort of the key time for that to start happening. But EG right now, playing pretty defensive in all 3 lanes, apart from bottom, but bottom lane Luna actually fairly gankable, apart from having the Eclipse. And here comes a TP, it's actually EG going to be the first to make a move. Fears Rubik, TP's bottom. Shadow Demon can react in TP as soon as this gank comes out, if he's fast.
Of course, as soon as this is spotted, we may see the Alliance look to go on top if EG are out of position, but it's going to be hard with Cogs. In comes Bulldog, deep in enemy territory. Doesn't have Infest, used it to heal up and stay in the lane, so this could be a great opening. They need to get a good Eclipse off to bring Bulldog down. Are they going to time it right now? They are, but the Rage will come out. Only 1 beam hits in the end. I think maybe it was 2. Bulldog on the run. The auto attacks bring him low, but here comes S4. Head full of steam. Roars 1, wants the double axes. He'll get them 2. He finds Fear. He wants a double kill. Jo, no way out. No Eclipse. This is going to be a big turnaround. Teleport comes in from Sexy Bamboo. Wasn't spotted by S4 because it was behind cover of tree line, and they turn it around. A beautiful and much needed TP. If S4 gets 2, that's a disaster for EG. Instead, it's a pretty decent trade.
S4's probably thinking he can chase, and even if he doesn't get the kill, he's not going to die because of that haste room, but perfectly placed and timed TP from Bambo. That was really impressive from him, and they get a kill on Beastmaster at this point is more important than kills on carriers like Luna, like kills on the PL. Killing the solo mids to slow down their momentum is so big, and this is also giving Demon more space to farm and just have this mid lane to himself. He's level 7, almost level 8, and he almost has his arcane boots. That's the level 8, level 9 arcane boots, and that's where Mag gets very active on the map with this TP scroll of his.
Of course, for every action there is a reaction, and the reaction here is that Loda gets a little more space of his own. Same for the supports of the Alliance. So we see Ake as well as EGM starting to get some additional levels. Now 4 and 3 on them, still behind EG, I imagine, just because of those early kills, as well as Fear finding that kill on a quite highly leveled solo in the bottom lane. But their Alliance is getting their trades, and I don't think it's that awful for them. They're down by 1,000 gold, nothing they can't come back from, 500 experience deficit, and this early on, we can start to look towards the mid game as we have a pretty slow and steady pace to it. So, Demon farming towards the Blink. I imagine EG won't get it too aggressive until they have the hook shot as well as the Blink dagger.
Yeah, I don't see them. Well, they still can. I think they can get a bit aggressive just with. It's not so much getting aggressive, but it's more looking to sort of predict where Alliance can be stacking heroes and send the mag there with a TP scroll, because the wards at top river is going to scout Demon's movement. He's actually still walking top. He's going to walk to buy his arcane boots, and he can pop the invis room while he's hidden. Although Alliance, they know he has an invis room, they can look to sort of predict his movement somewhat. But Demon, he's a sneaky fella. I'd almost like to see Demon like TP bottom and pop the invis room and wait for someone to come defend bottom. EG can almost guarantee themselves a bad tier 1 tower.
We'll have to see what's going on here. Fingers crossed, knocking on wood, praying to the Dota gods that there aren't any issues. Loda doing something. But for the time being, guys, if you're just tuning in, it's Game 2 and a best of 3 for today's quadruple header. That's right. It's a quadruple header. We have 4 games coming up today, as you can see right here on your screen. So, Alliance versus EG, this is our first set. Loser of this match will await the winner of Liquid versus Na'Vi. Liquid versus Na'Vi is scheduled to kick off immediately following this match. That one's also a best of 3. Loda just disconnected from the game. Should be back in just a few moments, I do hope. And then into the consolation final, either Alliance or EG is going to be playing the winner of Liquid versus Na'Vi. And then after that, we go to the grand finals, and that's a best of 5 with no advantage. That's the format we're using. So I think you said it's a potential, 9 plus 5, potential 14 games today, gods, if it goes the distance.
I'm okay with 14 games. I mean, my health, my sanity, maybe not, but
our studio preparations, well, we'll just have to sleep a little less, but
yeah, I'd about to say that's where probably the sanity factor comes in. Getting studio ready for TI3 qualifiers with a 14-hour, potentially 14, maybe longer hour broadcast today, not so much.
Speaking. So, gods, you called your mom. How's she doing?
I didn't get to talk to her. I hung up and you just tried to call her like mid-broadcast, but she didn't pick up.
All right, we're about to unpause. Well, we'll just cut the VOD short. Welcome back, everybody, to a game that was left in limbo. We'll now try to unravel it, resolve it, and get back into it. It's EG versus the Alliance, a best of 3. We're actually in the middle of Game 2. If you're tuning in and very confused, here's the short story. The Alliance had internet issues. EG had some in between games 1 and 2, and then the Alliance had some during game 2. DDoS, the likely or suspected culprit. At any rate, they appear to be sorted out now. We took a break. We played out Navi versus Liquid for the WePlay.tv Dota 2 League playoffs, and we're now back into it in Game 2, with EG having a 5-2 kill advantage. They were up by about 2,000 gold or so, maybe 1,500 before the pause. Strategically, we've seen Demon farming very quickly towards his Blink Dagger. That was allowed because S4 went for a gank bottom and ended up dying, so Demon got a lot of extra free farm time. As a result, EG with a bit of an advantage, but by no means is this game over. I'm LD, of course, and I'm joined by Gods.
Oh, hey guys. Other big thing Demon's just done, he's picked up some Dusty, so if he wants to get PL, it is an option. And it sort of suggests that he does want to try to do so sometime soon.
Yeah, that PL for the moment does have a lane ward protecting him, so if they want to go for that, they'll need to hit a hook from long range, or they'll have to smoke. We'll see if they look to go for it. Invis picked up on betas, and
yeah.
I actually thought I heard a rage. Oh, just Bulldog jungling. I was going to say, I don't think he's getting ganked. Indeed he wasn't. Bambo, he'll foray over towards the enemy camp. So Bambo's been a bit of a nuisance this game. He was in that tri-lane top. He's managed to get a ton of levels. Killing that Beastmaster bottom really helped catch him back up because he wasn't an offensive tri-lane and a bit slowed down. As a result, no longer the case. EG level 6 on the Rubik. RP online. We mentioned they're a lineup that's going to be stronger as a unit. They're going to try and push now, but there is the brick wall of S4 axes, and Ake illuminates to try and slow them down.
I don't like this group up as for mid right now. They're not going to accomplish a whole lot. It doesn't look like they're going to get any damage done to this tower. They're just wasting a bit of time where they could be... Luna can be farming jungle. They can have Mag stacking, getting his Blink Dagger up. It doesn't seem like the best way to play this. So Mag actually does go back into the jungle. I think he does a bit of stacking. Now he's going to just shockwave down some creeps, try to finish off the Blink. But EG just need to be efficient. This is something which Alliance is so good at when they get an early lead, is that they farm the most efficient way possible, and as a result, they get further and further ahead. EG had this early lead, but they're wasting a bit of time right now.
And every second is precious because the clock is ticking. Phantom Lancer getting essentially free farm at this point. Loda was slowed down a bit earlier, stymied by that aggressive tri-lane, but now pretty much having his way. And how wouldn't you have your way with these creeps? Top lane, there will be cogs as well as a disruption, but Bambo, he's created a bit of a prison for himself. Now the Lance comes in, the hook, not going to connect in the end, ends up going down, and now S4 teleports it, or rolls in, I should say. Demon thought it TP'd it, eats a Lance, he'll skewer away. EG taking a very awkward engagement, and they may lose Demon as well. He'll blow an RP just to save his own life because he's so close to the Blink Dagger, doesn't want it delayed. I guess in that sense, it's kind of worth it, but that's a lot to blow.
That was all set up. Shadow Demon hits level 6, gets a Purge off, and that's a dead Clockwork, and then almost finishes off the Mag as well. With fast Purge, this is a really well-farmed Shadow Demon, and this is because he's just been stacking and pulling most of the early game laning stage. So we're seeing Alliance in a pretty decent position here, despite having Mag had all the space in the world to farm his Blink.
You know, the Alliance kind of reminds me of just, you have like a towel and you try and rinse it dry, but they always get that extra drop or two out of it. It's never fully dry until they get their hands on it. And that's what they're doing now with the jungle, just making sure they get as much experience in gold as they possibly can. And they're also holding on to those crucial objectives. The tier 1 mid, barely scratched, and that's because Ake rotated here. Bulldog still farming bottom. So when you look at it, it's an awkward lineup having a Phantom Lancer as well as a Lifesteal. Lifesteal more of that aggressive, let's go fight at this point in the game. PL the one who wants to farm all game, and both of them carries who need a lot of farm later on to be effective. But at the same time, the Alliance is about making it work. They're not losing towers. They're not that far behind by gold. We can even call it now like 1,000 maybe. Loda's going to get picked up, though. This could be a potential pickoff. Sentry Ward deployed. Not going to be in time. Bambo thought about a hook wisely. He will back off, and I say wisely because, well, they don't have Demon. He's busy farming his Blink. His RP's on cooldown. Taking a fight there would be very, very dicey. But instead, they'll back off. It's again, though, back to that story you mentioned before. Maybe wasted a bit of time with this 4-man group up.
Yeah, EG, they've really... I think they're just trying a bit too hard to put pressure on the Alliance just because they know they're up against the PL. But their overall team fight around the 20-minute mark is so much stronger that they should just be looking to build towards that point, get their heroes as farmed as possible for it, get the mech up, get more levels on the supports, get Luna some more items, but they are sticking with this 5-man top. They really want to take Alliance head on.
And now it is 5-man. It was 4 before, now it's 5. Bambo hook in, catches out EGM, but the disruption there is actually going to block Bambo inside of his own cogs. On the other side of the fight, it's an RP from Demon. That's an Eclipse from Jay, who did some good damage. Doesn't seem to be quite enough not to deal with a good Bulldog. Can they bring him down? They want to. He's low. A blink from Demon, looks for the skewer, nails it. Drills him into the trees and kills him off. Leshrac to fall as well. EG They take a crucial fight. They kill 3. They don't get the PL, but now the tower in jeopardy on top of it all. And when it's all said and done, gotta call it a good fight from that. EGM gonna get picked off too. Nicely done, and it looks like Beastmaster actually died before getting off Roar, which may have been what turned the fight.
Yeah, it looks like Loda will be able to hold this tier 1 tower of his own. Heroes respawning pretty fast here, so EG, they want to keep staying top, look for some more kills. They will have to sort of force the issue a bit here, but it's still okay for Alliance. PL doesn't die. PL also got kills, including kills on Luna, as well as I think it was it Leshrac? Yeah, Leshrac was the other kill. So 2 kills go the way of Alliance, 1 being picked up by PL. So, end of the day, not a good fight for them, but hey, they still get closer to that late game PL. He almost has a Diffusal Blade already.
Yeah, and even once you just get the Diffusal Blade, that just increases your ability to stall pushes by so much, especially because, well, actually, scratch that. EG will have a mech soon, but even then, this is a team that's probably going to need a pipe or multiple BKBs to break through, just because there's so much spam coming their way. EG want the picks. If they get the picks, they can get the tower, but they have to get them cleanly, else the push will be ended by almost any of these heroes, and so far, not quite able to find that clean engagement. They'll look for Jo in the jungle, smoked up on the prowl.
Beastmaster with a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, S4 had this before the last fight. He's actually going to roar Jo now. He'll catch him with a double damage rune and no Eclipse. That's a very, very dead Jo. Brings him down. EGM will clean up that last hit, so you mentioned a rich Shadow Demon. The rich get richer.
Yeah, this is... I think this is what Alliance is going to be looking to do, give this PL space. PL, though, is in enough space. He's getting ganked out at top lane. There's no one here to help him out, and he's going to be brought down, which is...
That was just overconfident.
Yeah. I guess he thought it was maybe safe after his team ganked the hero in the enemy jungle. He's probably thinking, oh, they'll go look to sort of counter gank, but no, he got focused down the top lane.
Yeah, 3 heroes off the map. There's no lane ward, so he really didn't know too much about their whereabouts. His team was in the jungle and didn't see them. Like you said, probably anticipated either a teleport or just a walking reaction, moving over towards the mid and the bottom lanes, but basically just throws himself at them at the top lane of the tower, and EG will collect the kill. Now Bdiz gets Purge under the tower. Purge was stolen by Old Man Fear. What can he make? Sorry, Soul Catcher wasn't that. There's your Lucid Beam. Down he'll go. Fear able to zap him up. And in the meantime, looks like EGM able to pick off Bdiz. Now the chase on S4, who's got a blink. In 4 seconds, he's B-recalled. It looks like he'll get away freely. But while that was happening, Bambo was able to take down a tier 1 top, so all things considered, a pretty successful few minutes there for EG.
Yeah, EG do themselves pretty well. They want to try and defend this bottom tier 1, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to. Bulldog, Rage gets the tier 1. Siege Creep actually gets the tier 1, so they split the gold between themselves, and EG going for the trade at mid.
I believe because they had a 1,500 gold lead. Well, we'll see a blink and a roar now in jail. Roar was stolen by the old man himself. Will he need it here? No, he won't. Still available. Demon was actually, I think, thinking of an RP, but maybe that's just my eyes deceiving me. It's been a long night, but either way, he did cancel it. So still has that one at his disposal. And this is what EG needs. It's not really the farm advantage, the gold advantage, the experience advantage. They need map control. They cannot allow this PL to farm freely and aggressively. Taking that tier 1 top and now taking the tier 1 mid, that's the most important thing for them right now. Even more so than the kills, I feel.
Yeah, and this now EG's 5-man starts to look really scary. You've got Mag with Blink RP, you've got Hookshot coming out from Clockwork, and a Roar on your Rubik. Eclipse isn't on cooldown either. EG should be getting a guaranteed tier 2 tower here almost. The only thing that's going to be annoying and slow him down is the Illuminate Axis spam, but Keeper of the Light, not in position to defend this top tower yet.
I just feel like a lot of these Alliance heroes, there's not much they can do in an actual fight. The only thing that I see Keeper of the Light doing is just stalling the pushes. Even the Lifestealer, are you really going into Cogs, RP, Luna's additional damage, which doesn't care about Rage? It doesn't seem like Alliance can actually take a fight, despite having a few heroes that, on paper, are heroes that want to fight. So all they can do is look to split push, and it's just going to be basically a math problem of can they split push fast enough to prevent EG from threatening their base in the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, EG are rotating mid. They're not going to be TPing on this tier 1 tower. They haven't got a Glyph either, but Alliance, they're playing scared.
As they should be. They're going to retreat into the safety of the enemy jungle. Strange but true that in some cases, enemy territory is the best place to be. Loda will scout things out. He'll lead with the doppelwalk, reveals the smoke. 4 heroes there. Is he going to be able to engage? They're looking. The hook will miss. Illuminate catches 3. A perfect start for Alliance. Isn't enough. Demon unable to find an RP. He'll skewer in. He won't RP just yet. Eclipse from jail. Looking to bail him out, but Bulldog still healthy. What a great start to the fight for the Alliance, but it doesn't seem good enough. The stolen Aurora turning things around. Was it stolen again? No, he's stolen Call of the Wild. Loda left to his own devices. Bulldog left to his own devices as well. The two supports were the ones who died. As a result, the Alliance actually in a decent position here. Jo, can he chase some more? It looks like that'll spell the end of the engagement. 3-hero Illuminate as they came up onto the high ground. The PL, Loda able to break the smoke. Everything went perfectly, and because he got caught and initiated upon immediately by the Lifestealer, couldn't find a good RP, so a perfect fight. That's what the Alliance needed.
Alliance were just... Their map awareness is insane. Firstly, they pinged EG when EG was smoked up, when they were coming through this mid lane around where this ward is. They got pinged by Alliance. And it's like, well, they just know where they're coming from. And then Alliance position themselves on top of the ramp so that they'll scout out the smoke. And then when they scout out the smoke, well, they can position themselves in the team fight. They know what's coming. They can focus down Demon and they win the team fight. It was just great map awareness and they turn that into a successful fight.
If EG has a good RP there, if Demon isn't basically having a Lifestealer attached at the hip, that's a different fight. But he couldn't find the good RP, and it's because, like you said, the Alliance was prepared. They were positioned properly, and as a result, EG in a bit of a pickle here. They're not, by no means are they in a world of trouble, but it's more just they have their BKB on Luna, they have the Yasha drum, she's very farm. Fear even has a blink. This is where you want to go find a pick off and take a tower and look towards Roche. You don't just want to sit back and trade farm. EG, they'll just have to find those engagements. Haven't been able to do so too much yet, and a lot of that is good wards from the Alliance, to be totally honest. They see quite a bit, despite not having those tier 1s up.
Yeah. Alliance have some great map control right now. Both teams do. It's something which they're really sort of prioritizing, which is where we sort of look towards the supports getting gems sometime in the near future, especially a hero like Beastmaster, known for being one of the big gem buyers in the game. So maybe we see Alliance especially looking to deward some of this map, try to get some of their own jungle back under wraps.
Gods, I'm not sure if it's you, but someone is telling me that apparently we don't have Dota TV audio on. Mine appears to be working.
Mine appears to be working. I toggled it anyway, so I guess for people tuning in, the one thing you can do is deselect this on Dota TV and then select this again. That may sometimes fix it.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's a little bit buggy with a game that's loaded from a save, but hopefully it is working now. So if we were off for anybody, we do apologize, but just to repeat what God said, if you only hear one of us, or if you're not hearing... If I'm coming through and he's not, then just go ahead and change audio channels and come back in to ours, and everything should hopefully be resolved. But with all that being said, back to the game, where EG is currently grouped up top, trying to create some pressure here, drive Alliance back. For the moment, Alliance pretty content to farm mid, to be totally honest. This is not somewhere Bulldog should feel too safe in, considering his jungle is completely dark at this point, and he will back off now.
Yeah, EG not going to find too much in the enemy jungle, and Roshan pit maybe going to be sort of the stage for the next fight. Alliance are hovering around it, but more sort of defensively, not looking to actually take it. EG themselves would more likely be the team to actually go for Roshan, I feel.
Yeah, they really want this tier 2 mid. That's so important for them strategically to take Roshan. It ensures that if someone dies and buys back, they can't instantly be on top of you in the pit. Not to mention, you can play some aggressive wards and see them coming from farther away. Even something like a sentry in the lane could be nice. But for the moment, they'll just chip away at it with Edict, then they'll back off. And I like this reaction from Bulldog. Starts pushing the bottom lane, says, you want to push mid, you're going to pay.
Yeah. Beaters had a cute little spot there where he was edicting the tower without getting attacked by the tower, even though there were no creep.
It's like right here, right?
Yeah. You fog the tower and you're still doing damage.
Yeah, Edict actually does. Oh, Bulldog, he's being recalled. Can he get out of time? He can't. He's got Rage, will infest. He will. He'll pop right back out. I think should have lurked in the creeps a little bit, but was probably going to die regardless. Well, maybe could have saved his life by a few seconds. And for his trouble, Fear will still infest. Well, it recalls Vic the Slick's adorable clip. If you haven't seen that Dota Cinema highlight reel, I highly recommend it. I won't even try to explain the shenanigans that ensue, but it all did start with Rubik infest and then also having relocate. So
yeah.
Well, no relocate this game, so we won't see the full combo, but interesting spell to have. I don't know how useful this one will actually be.
Infest into Clockwork or Mag, but end of the day, Rubik doesn't want to be in the middle of the fight.
Get me out of here. He's one who, like you said, wants to get out, not go in, so we'll see what he does. But then EG, on the back of that pick-off, they can start pushing a tower, and again, for the Alliance, they just want to trade. They don't want to be fighting right now, making the right decisions. Strategically, the question is, are they too far behind where even if they make those right decisions, they'll just get run over by EG? That's the question right now.
I don't know if you can get too far behind when you have a PL. He's got his level 3 defusal. He's going to start working on his Heart of Taras, which is it's the popular build for most PLs, I would say, although a lot don't upgrade the diffusal blade, but I love seeing PLs upgrade the diffusal blade right off the bat.
It's the most cost-efficient damage item for him, and Well, you wanted a gem, gods, you get a gem. Bambo picks one up, and I think especially for EG, so important for them. Because to some extent, PL can just split push anyway using Doppelwalk as well as possible. And well, I guess the gem means it's a little bit more dangerous. Can't purge off dust and necessarily rely on Doppelwalk to escape, but he's probably going to do his thing regardless. So this allows EG to get more map control, and I feel if they just win one more fight, they take Roche, they take that tier 2 mid, and all of a sudden the Alliance are stuck in their base. So it really comes down to Alliance can't lose that big fight, or they're going to have a very, very hard time leaving their base, aside from maybe the PO.
Bambo getting off some strong dewarding around the Roshan pick. I was actually scared because I thought he was about to hookshot into 3 or 4 heroes with the Lifestealer, but he actually just dewards an Observer, a Sentry, so this is helping EG out quite a bit for now, and I think that's something which EG are happy to spend a minute or so doing. Deward the map, make Alliance play blind, and then you can look to just sort of starve them as much as possible.
They have the Manta style up on Jail. Of course, he's got Empower at his side, and it's something that we talked about before all the connectivity issues and sort of the previous iteration or version of this game is Luna is one of the better late game carries to deal with the PL army, especially with Empower. If she gets big enough, she can kill off the illusions very quickly and even deal with the PL, especially once you throw something like a Satanic and a Butterfly. I mean, we're looking 15-20 minutes, but if Alliance doesn't make too many mistakes, it could easily go that late. Luna can deal with that, especially with Empower. So, of course, BKB removes it, but when it's not there, it could be a factor. So, she continues to farm, Jo continues to accrue golden experience, and for EG, they're smoked up mid. We'll see if they go. Alliance is not giving them an easy opening, so if they want to construct one, they're really going to have to work for it.
Yeah, both teams trying to just be as efficient as possible with their time. Got Geo farming Ancient, even Alliance getting some decent farm on heroes you wouldn't always expect to have as much farm as they do. Beastmaster starting to build towards an Aghanim Scepter, and he's only about 1,500 gold away from it, so it could be a pretty fast Aghanim Scepter, which is great because of the shorter cooldown, the longer range on the ultimate, but also just all the stats. Beastmaster's going to get very, very tanky.
Yeah, I love the Aghanim's pickup, and also the fact that he's gone for a Vlad's, because they have 2 melee carries. At the end of the day, PL doesn't really want to be auto-attacking and trying to man-fight anyone like a Luna, but if you're in a pickle, it could make a difference, and obviously the lifesteal will benefit. You get a little additional lifesteal, and if they have an opportunity to go Roche, this will allow them to secure it with ease. So it's a nice pickup. It's also cheap, cost-efficient, and then if he gets the Ags, well, it could upgrade Fear's Roar as well. With a Blink Dagger, it's quite possible Fear will be stealing Roar again this game, so we'll see. It could be an Ags for both teams.
Well, Loda's almost got his heart to rest, just needs about 300-400 more gold.
Oh, and one thing we haven't mentioned, there's a Shadow Demon on his side. So there's 2 PL armies potentially, or really strong Luna illusions coming out for the Alliance as it goes later. Depending, of course, if EGM can find the right disruptions, but that actually makes the Alliance significantly scarier late game.
Yeah, I think the teammate disruption onto the PL isn't quite as relevant as when you have one against the PL, because you're going to have a PL illusion army regardless. I guess you just have even more PLs, but
more is always better, right?
I think disruption onto the Luna and just used to sort of save whoever gets RP, because we may see some late game RPs just used on Lifestealer or just used on the PL. That's where defensive disruption is a really powerful tool.
That's where the Lifestealer could be huge. If you're forced to blow an RP on him, that's an RP you're not using on the Phantom Lancer. You're not using it on multiple supports if they group up, and that's where it will make it harder to break the base of the Alliance. So it could be that utility for the Lifestealer. Although otherwise I feel he's quite vulnerable to just being kited and kind of bounced around between the cogs and the RP, but for the time being, looking at the way this game is developing, the pace of it, it's about a 2,000 gold lead for EG. Again, before the remake, or before the reload, they were up by about 1,500, so it's a net advantage of maybe 3,500, which is basically squat for this kind of a game. If anything, you could even argue the Alliance is leading, of course, having the PL on their side. Beat is Blink, Axis to bring him low. S4 wants the kill. Will the illusion find it? No, it won't. Not in the end. And now Bambo surges himself in. Mid-hook. Oh, did the illusion actually block the hook? I think it did. That's an RP. Catches out 2. You mentioned the disruption gods. You get it now. Demon, BKB up for him as well, but they just don't seem to be able to bring anyone down. It's simply too tanky. That's all there is to say about the Alliance. Now Demon caught out, driven into the tree line. He'll blink to safety. Jo as well. There's a buyback coming in for Bambo. And for the Alliance, I think it's time to back off. They got what they came for. They forced out multiple BKBs. They didn't lose a thing. And a buyback on top of it. And in the end, Loda lanced him, and I think that blocked the hook.
Yeah, the lance created the illusion which blocked the hook. It was just some very fantastic lucky timing coming out for Alliance. And Loda, the other fantastic timing was he just picked up his Heart of Taras before that fight broke out, so he was tanky, impossible to bring down. And EG just get a somewhat bad fight for them. I think they only ended up losing, what, just the Clockwork?
Yeah, they just lost the Clockwork, and Bambo bought back, and it looks like they did manage to recover their gem. As I believe he was carrying it, at least at one point he certainly was. And the Alliance are going to go into the Roshan pit. There's no RP. Great. No RP and no BKBs. What a beautiful time to go.
Yeah.
Just really good game sense from them.
Yep. Not going to see any contest coming in from EG. EG's going to sit back and look to probably farm their next level of items. Even if they know this is going on, they're probably thinking, without these ultimates, we can't fight this.
And is that just me?
That was me as well.
Well, hopefully it's just a hiccup, guys. Seems like everything's a-okay. I'm not sure if the players had that. Maybe it's just our internet here. But either way, we'll see a drum charge deployed. Now the race car lifestealer charging on in, looking for Bambo. He's perched too, but he'll force staff himself beautifully up to the high ground. Unfortunately, the illusion comes with him, and also is going to slow him down some more. Bulldog charges in. S4 on the backline, deploys the roar. Now Demon unable to fight. He just got RP. He'll RP, but it's only Bulldog, and Bulldog is not really taking any kind of damage. There's an open wound. Jo, he'll try to teleport out. He won't get away in time. This is not a good fight for EG. Demon. I thought I saw it's just an Ironwood branch in the end. Now Beatus trying to teleport out. He will escape. A chaotic fight, and one that EG is not finding good RPs. They're not really finding a good Eclipse. It was on cooldown in that fight. Their lineup seems to be more and more reliant on that big combo, and they're just not getting it.
And a big swing in terms of gold going the way of Alliance. The PL pick starting to kick in now, and Loda getting ridiculously farmed. Even the supporting cast, you've got Lifestealer with a Basher already completed. Aghanim Scepter, there's enough gold for S4. This is a really scary deathfall going down the mid lane for EG to deal with.
Bulldog's just slowly mauling that tower down. Apparently, ghouls can bring down stone towers. That's a scary thought. Loda working on the creeps right now, and Glyph already deployed. There is no RP, remember, even though that Magnus is coming, or is available now, and the Luna's coming up soon. There will be an Eclipse, but there's nothing to combo with it. And the Alliance, every time that RP's down, just going for a big objective. First it was Roche, now it's Rax. They're going to take this one scot-free, and frankly, I don't know what EG can do about it. Bambo's looking for a hook. He may even go in here, but they've already given up Rax. I don't see them getting something similar in return. EGM will be caught. That's a Bulba-style force staff out of the Cogs, trapping EGM, who force staffs himself out the other way. Then purges Beatus. Loda comes in. Bulldog 2. Boy, these heroes pack a punch. Blink and Roar catches Jo. Roar stolen as well by Fear. Tossed back out the other direction, but is it going to be enough? Loda's dropping low. He's still got Aegis. He will go down. Can they bring him back out of this second round of engagement? He's probably going to get away. Very tanky. No Roar, no RP. They get out. They get the Rax. They blow the Aegis. A massive, massive victory for the Alliance. And now they lead by 5,000 gold, 5,000 experience, and they already have a 1-0 advantage in your winner bracket finals. Gods, this is not looking good for EG.
Yeah, EG lose this game. They drop down. They go on to take on Na'Vi in the loser bracket final. Loser if that gets third place. Not something you want to be doing when you're guaranteed top 3 already, but Alliance are just looking so strong and so unbeatable.
And, you know, it's not like they've had an easy time of it. Yeah, dealing with all those internet connections, starting this game from a deficit. They weren't necessarily having their heads as focused and composed as what they would like, but they've quickly regained that composure, and since then, well, it's EG. It seems like they're forcing the issue a lot. We saw it early, constantly trying to pressure top. Finally, they did bring the tower down, although it even just came with Bambo pushing by himself, but it just hasn't felt like a well-oiled machine. Sometimes this EG team does feel more like that, but just wasn't the case in this game, at least not so far, and they can't afford to make too many more mistakes. In theory, their lineup does go quite late, but when you actually look at in practice, the items that the Alliance has, EG does not have the items on their Luna to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, need the Butterfly up very soon, and Mag as well, you need to be looking at a refresher of sometime in the next 5 or so minutes. Maybe with those 2 items, late game for EG doesn't go too bad, because you've got Rubik who can maybe steal spells like the roll, but Alliance, their execution, it's kind of like watching Na'Vi versus Liquid, it's just better.
We'll see. Actually, Fear managing to steal Soul Catcher, catches out EGM in the middle of the river, throws him back towards S4, who is packing a payload in the form of an infested Lifestealer. He's now going to give chase. He's got a Blink Dagger cooling down in 3 seconds. Look at him go. Look at him jump. Where's that Blink Roar? He won't go for it. Instead, they'll find themselves a Bambo, who has managed to journey his way up to the tower, or up to the shop top, tries to buy a TP to teleport out. He'll go down, and Gem hits the deck at the same time. Beat is somehow caught in just a horrendous position all of his own. EGM slowly but surely bringing him down. If he tries to TP out, he'll be disrupted. He'll go. Oh, sorry, he doesn't even have a TP, so just absolutely sad right now. That's a very, very sad Leshrac. Forced that from EGM. Almost, but not quite. Manages to dodge that stun, and now it's a man mode. Fight to the death, unfortunately. Shadow Demon with an unfair advantage. He'll win that one, too.
Yeah, elsewhere, S4 tried to chase down the Luna in the jungle with an Observer, just narrowly missed out on getting Aurora before the TP. Alliance, though, they get a couple more kills. They're really just sort of... It seems like they're just tightening the noose on EG. Even though they're behind on kills, or behind a kill, they seem to be pretty far ahead right now.
It feels like they're far ahead. The momentum's on their side. The late game... Also, one thing we haven't mentioned, the Alliance has Inner Beast on their side, which is a big deal when you have Phantom Lancer, because attack speed Rs do propagate to illusions. So your illusions will be attacking faster and hitting harder. And that means that you can push and scale even better into the late game. Not to mention Lifestealer, he's more likely to bash as well. So that's the additional late game they have to sort of deal with the Empower and the Luna's R2. And aside from all of that, they have control of the map. They've already pushed in the lane mid. They're constantly able to apply pressure to the lanes. They really do have the better split push at the end of the day. Clockwork Rockets are not going to make up for Illuminate. The ability for the Keeper of the Light to recall an ally into the fight, and just the raw pushing power of a Phantom Lancer. And as a result, they push down a tier 2 mid. EG working on a big wraparound. Now the Alliance, look how prepared they are. Sentry, but it's on the wrong side. It may not spot this in time. They're even on the low ground. Hook will catch Ake. Now he's in a bit of a pickle. Can he get out of here? Fear lurking on the high ground. RP! Beautiful RP, but it's going to be Roar stolen too. The Alliance getting massacred. 4 dead in a matter of seconds. EGM soon to follow. All of it set up by Demon with a massive 3-hero RP, and to top it off, icing on the cake, a stolen Roar from Fear. They deployed the Sentry Ward, but it was on the other side of the tree line, and EG, they find that initiation they've been hunting for all game long.
Man, that was absolutely delicious from EG. Everything going right, from the RP to just all the follow-up, the Raw steal from Fear once again. I mean, throughout all that chaos, he still manages to find the exact timing to steal the Raw, the one hero who wasn't caught in it and win the fight. EG needed something big, and they got something big. It was the complexity-style smoke gank, and it worked out perfectly.
Loda bought back immediately, didn't even get the audio notification, but he is back in the game, so it will make it hard for EG to push, but on the back of that fight, they've completed their Butterfly on Jo. I imagine will be working now towards that Satanic, and this is the point of the game. You get the Satanic, the Butterfly, the BKB, the Manta. You can fight throughout your BKB with impunity against a Phantom Lancer, and you basically will not take damage unless he's got True Strike or unless you have a Hex to remove his evasion. 35% with the lifesteal, and especially if you activate the Satanic or if you have Empower on, more than enough to keep Jo healthy, so suddenly he's a lot more durable than he used to be.
Yeah, Jo's starting to get pretty farm, pretty tanky. PL, no evasion of any sort. I guess the bouncing glaives aren't affected by that, but PL himself, he's just got himself a Manta style, and we're going to see Alliance try and take a fight before getting caught out here by EG. Mag RP is back up though.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer used to have a passive evasion, but that was replaced with magic resistance quite a while ago. Bambo hunting in the jungle, looking for a kill here. Loda's going to scout things out with a bit of a Doppelwalk illusion, and in the end it looks like they will back off. If EG can find the fight, they have so much more lockdown than the Alliance. That hasn't really changed. The only way it does change is if the Alliance farms some Scythe of Ice, or maybe even I guess an Abyssal Blade if it's not already up on their Lifestealer. But for the moment, they don't really have that many stuns. So a lot of the reason they're winning these fights is still, if they win a fight, it comes down to S4 just finding that initiation and picking EG off one by one, basically.
Yeah, I think that's almost something that Alliance ought to go back to. And this is where we mentioned it's a very awkward Alliance lineup, because even with this lead of theirs, they haven't really got the best composition for pushing, for team fighting. They don't really excel in any one area. You've got a PL, but your supporting cast is it's like a Lifestealer Beastmaster, which is this sort of awkward duo. It's
a ragtag band that they were making work, but it's still a ragtag band. This is not a polished and balanced composition. Whereas you look at EG, their lineup is the definition of that. Lots of crowd control from their supports. Spell steal, fantastic in those team fights. Great disruption from things like Cogs. A solid late game carry in Luna, buffed up even further by Magnus. And the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, that's RP. Well, Demon's got it.
Oh yeah, and he's going to have two in the next couple of minutes, I imagine. You're probably going to see a Refresher Orb come up as his next big item. I'd be very surprised if he goes for anything else here. Having 2 refreshes, just so you can use one on a key hero like a Lifestealer or PL, is going to be essential going into late game.
Absolutely, and you know, the other thing to keep an eye on is when does he buy it, and will he have buyback? Because something that's plagued EG, I think, as of late, is buying items and getting caught without buyback. It seems like at least a few of the games that I've personally watched, that's been an issue for them. Often a decision you just have to make as a team, but if you buy that refresher, you die. Even let's say you use 1 RP, you can't come back. Well, it doesn't do a whole lot of good, and maybe you even wasted that first RP. So if he gets off 2 big RPs, then that's absolutely massive. But just when he buys the item and then how he uses it will ultimately determine if they're going to be able to win a big fight. And for the time being, EG, at the end of the day, they are down a lane of racks. So mid lane's constantly pushing in. It looks like the Alliance just want to wait for the next Roche, and they will have the map control advantage to at least have the lanes pushed out if they want to go for it.
EG have the team fight to try and contest it with the Clockwork Initiation Mag RP, but it's going to be difficult to do considering Alliance's strong strategic position. Alliance do have a gem up on the Beastmaster, so it looks like, yeah, right now they're spending a lot of time dewarding, and it looks like that last Observer Ward at the bottom river will get dewarded as well. And they can probably go into Roshan, even with it being scouted out by Clockwork Rockets.
And EG, a very quick reaction from them. 5 heroes mid, you got to imagine they're headed right towards Roche, but will it be in time? It doesn't look like it. He's already down to half. By the time they get here, maybe, just maybe with a hook from max range and a 4-staff on top of it, but it's basically already dead. At the same time, the Alliance could be caught in the pit if EG decide to go. They're close. Bambo's too late. Will he go for one of his patented Roche hooks? It doesn't look like. In fact, it's Beatus who's caught out first. There's your hook from Bambo. Finds EGM. Catches him in the cogs. Beatus is low. Still alive at that. On the backside, it's S4. Fishing for a roar. Hasn't used it yet. Jo on the run too. Demon slowly being kited. Forced to pop that BKB. Can he find a good RP? Now it gets hard. He's waiting. He's lurking. He's not able to. He gets bashed. He can't get off the RP. Bulldog brings him down. Now Jo forced to TP out. No RP for Demon. He does have buyback, but boy, oh boy, that bash really hurts. Didn't even have an Abyssal Blade, just got the bash when he needed it.
Yeah, some great timing now, and it looks like Alliance, well, there's tier 2 tower at top. They could look to swing bottom through mid, but right now, they've just won themselves a pretty sizable fight. They've got the Aegis in their hands on the PL, and, well, it's going to be at least a tier 2 tower at top, possibly even more to follow.
And on top of that, Bulldog's got another big item of his own. Actually is going to go for a Demon Edge here, so looking towards an MKB to deal with that Luna. Not going to opt to complete the Abyssal Blade, which I think is a nice little adjustment since she does a Butterfly. But do they need it? That's the question. Demon will be forced to buy back here at the least, I think. Well, maybe not with Glyph. It's going to be close. We'll see.
He really doesn't want it. He really wants to try and save that gold as much as possible to get his refresher up.
And at least if he dies here, maybe doesn't get off the RP, at least he's got the buyback. So really reluctant to do it for multiple reasons, I feel. And well, the Alliance, they won't force the buyback, but they force a Glyph. They bring the tower down to about 400 HP and they back out. Haven't sealed the deal yet. The Alliance has not won this game, but it just gets easier and easier for them not to lose it from here on out.
Yeah. Well, for EG, I guess they have to try and find some way of breaking on out, finding pickoffs. Last time it was a big smoke gank, and at this point they needed to go for something like that again, but to do so, they're going to have to push out their lanes first and sort of hide the fact of what they're doing, or at least be somewhat secretive about where the direction they're taking, because Alliance, their map awareness is just some of the best of these Western teams.
The map awareness is fantastic, the wards are excellent, and the combination of those two makes it nigh impossible to pull a fast one on them. And EG, yeah, they did it once. They did it bottom, and that was even... it was almost lucky for EG that they came from the left instead of the right. Maybe intended, maybe they thought a Sentry Ward was there, but either way, I mean, still not something you could quite count on. The Alliance almost spotted them. That was the one time where EG really caught them by surprise. They'll have to do it again, and they'll have to do it now with the Alliance having more items, harder to kill heroes. Now a Butterfly up on Loda. Well, you want evasion, you get evasion now for your PL, and this just makes life very scary. No sight device on EG, no MKBs. There is no way to remove this evasion. Loda is going to be a bitch to kill.
Yeah, he's 6 slotted. We're there. 45 minutes is what it took, and Loda has got himself all 6 item slots filled. Does have the Aegis in one of them, which he may... Well, ultimately, he doesn't really want to replace that, in fact. So, EG...
I think Loda's okay with the permanent Aegis in his inventory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go.
No complaints there.
Lance onto Jo immediately off the bat. Demon able to blink RP right now. has not had his Blink Dagger disabled just yet. There's your hook by Bambo, pushes 3 heroes all around the world. Now Bulldog raged up. There's still an RP, hasn't been deployed yet. Catches Loda and Bulldog. Oh, what an RP! What an RP! But Loda's still alive. Through it all, the evasion is enough. Now Fear on the run. He'll be brought down in a matter of seconds. S4-2. He's still kicking. Loda still has Aegis, still hasn't lost it yet, but at the end of the day, they are driven back. Quite a few of them at that, and now the fight rages on. EGM and Ake, they'll catch a retreating Jail. He'll try for a teleport out. There's no way to cancel it. Force Staff not able to cancel TPs because it doesn't work like that. Bambo, though, picked off. 4 heroes dead for EG. That was an amazing RP on both carries when they were at relatively, like, about half HP. Yeah. Didn't matter. Didn't even matter.
It just gets shrugged off by Alliance. It's just amazing. Even PL still has an Aegis. Even if he does go down somewhere in those lines, he respawns and just keeps on fighting. Geo, you can see, starting to do some serious work. He needs to be careful at top lane as he's trying to defend, but I think Loda's just going to keep on going in, get this town, possibly even Rax's now.
It seems like EG's Swedish brethren, the Alliance, may have just knocked them down to the lower bracket. We're not sure yet, though. Bulldog looking for Vetus. He'll pick him off. 3 heroes still on the sidelines. A blink, a roar, and then Fear. Has he stolen it again? He has. Goodness gracious. This man plays a mean Rubik, but is it enough? It doesn't seem like it. They're all still alive. 5 at that. Ake trying to bring Bulldog out to safety while Loda's busy diving the fountain. Only his illusions, though. He'll save the hero for the Rax, and it looks like the Alliance, they get 2 lanes of Rax. And now, gods, it really is good luck leaving your base. I mean, it's not happening.
Yeah, and there's still an Aegis. I think Alliance is just going to go for the GG, the finishing blow here. They've got about a minute left on this Aegis, so they do need to be a little bit careful, but even if they lose a fight here with 2 lanes of Raxes, coming back is going to be incredibly challenging for EG.
If the Alliance indeed goes on to win this game, which seems all but a foregone conclusion at this point, it sets up an EG versus Na'Vi loser bracket finals. That's going to be a hell of a series. I am really excited if that's what we end up getting.
Well, that'll be some amazing... I mean, it's basically the 2 teams that most people would say are the 2 best teams in the West. Some people rank Liquid maybe slightly above Na'Vi, but with Na'Vi's 2-0 defeat of Liquid, it's really no doubt that right now it's Liquid and Alliance when it comes to the Western scene.
Yeah, when it comes to the North American team, certainly. And then, of course, I mean, Na'Vi's made a great showing today. They took down Liquid. I think Na'Vi's a team that just hasn't quite found their footing yet, but when they do, they'll be equally, if not more scary than either of those teams. And we might have seen the start of it here today.
Oh man, imagine a best of 5 between Na'Vi and Alliance would just be the perfect way to end this We Play Dota 2 tournament.
It would be quite a nightcap. It would also be a very long day for all those players by the time it's done.
Hey, a very long day for the casters as well.
Yeah, but casters don't complain. They just put the hours in.
It's hilarious. All the groups we have, it's players complaining about all the number of matches, and I'm like, you realize we have more matches to do than you guys.
Well, beggars can't be choosers, and well, we're not beggars.
Wow,
we're
only BKB gets used by Geo. That's going to hurt. He does pop the Eclipse here, but Illusions just tank off everything, and Loda, he is unkillable. He loses the Aegis. He doesn't even care. He has buyback anyways, even if he goes down and can just TP right back in. He's taken out Mag as well as Clockwork, and now they're going to go on to Beaters. Everybody wants a piece of the Beaters. Once you get a bite, you want some more.
EG's run in the winner's bracket ends here. It will be the Alliance guaranteed top 2 placement in the WePlay.tv Dota 2 League. And we're not even done yet for today, guys. In fact, we're only halfway through today's games, even a bit less, because we have 1 best of 3, your loser bracket finals between EG and Na'Vi coming up next, and then a best of 5. So we have anywhere between 5 and 8 games headed your way. It's going to be a glorious, if exhausting, conclusion. I hope you'll all stick with us. I hope you'll tell your friends, your family. We're delighted and really honored to have so many of you tuning in here today. And of course, props to the Alliance. They have played marvelously today. They continue their run through the upper bracket, like it seems they do in every single tournament. Old Man Fear, he played really well, just wasn't enough. The Alliance, in the end, they pull through. EG comes up short, and it will be EG sticking with us as they drop down to the losers bracket where they'll be facing Na'Vi. And a very scary Na'Vi at that.
A very scary Na'Vi. You got to worry for EG, but amazing play from Alliance. I mean, big thanks to everyone for tuning in and everything, and it's just great to see such good, high-quality Dota leading up to TI3. For those of you tuning in who want to watch on Dota TV, there is a Dota TV ticket available. Just sort of do a quick shameless plug of that. It's $4. For those of you who don't have it already, even just for the last couple of matches today, it's definitely worth it. You can catch all the replays from like some 200 plus matches of online content, but there you have it, Alliance. They go on through and they hardly seem to break a sweat.
Another shameless plug, if you don't already have a compendium for the International 3, you should also get one, because the Western qualifiers hosted by the GD Studio start tomorrow.
Man.
But
Look
anyway,
at these EGM items.
too much Dota, man. I'll tell you, it's a beautiful problem we have, gods. We truly are spoiled and blessed. But guys, you're not done yet. Don't you dare leave those seats, because we got another best of 3 coming up right after this. It's Na'Vi versus EG. Tell your mom, tell your dog, tell your friends, your sister, and your family, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.